Hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name is John Spradley. I'm from Austin, Texas.
John, how long have you been here in Costa Rica?
Just now I've been here for 1 month. The first time I came to Costa Rica was 10 years ago, and I stayed here for about 6 months. And I met a Costa Rican and we got married, and then we moved back to
Really?
Texas.
Wow. And what is your new hometown like?
Right now we're living in Grecia, and we're living in the center of town, so it's noisy. There's a lot of trailers and motorcycles, and everyone wants to be as loud as they can. But it's nice because you can walk everywhere. In Texas, you have to have a car. You can't really walk anywhere.
You mentioned something before about the parks.
The parks in Texas, there's land. It's open. There's a lot of land everywhere, and there's big parks with grass and lakes. And we have a 2-year-old son, so we take him to the parks there, and he can run around and swing. But here, it's hard to find a park that has grass. At least in the center of Grecia, everything is pavement, concrete.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. That's true. John, have there been any other difficulties while you're here?
Yeah, one difficulty 2 years ago, I like to play soccer, so I was going to play in what you call a mahanga, a pickup soccer game, and one of the other players wanted to borrow some of my shoes, so I let him borrow the shoes, and while I was playing in the game, he left. He stole my shoes. So,
really?
Yeah, that made me a little bit angry. I was mad, and I never got him back.
Too bad. And what about in terms of your relationship? You mentioned that you married Rica. How does the relationship changes when you're in Costa Rica and when you are in Texas?
Well, when we're in Texas, my wife didn't speak English, so she does now, but at first she depended on me almost 100% all the time. And so I had to do most of everything for the relationship while she depended on me for everything. And here, it's vice versa. It's different. I depend on her most of the time because it's her home country, her hometown, her people, her language, her culture. So I depend a lot on her. And she's pregnant right now, and so I depend on her. Our 2-year-old son depends on her, and so there's a lot of pressure on her. So it changes the relationship. We're different. It seems like we're different people in one country than we are in another country.
Interesting, huh? Tell me, do you feel at home in your new home?
Not yet. I've been here for 1 month, and I don't feel at home quite yet. We're living in an apartment, but we just found a house, so we're going to be moving into the house this week. I think that'll be a big step because we have a little dog, a miniature dachshund. And so we'll have a yard for the dog, grass, and a yard for our son. Back in Texas, we have a big backyard.
So basically, it's a matter of space?
I think space is a big part of it. I also think the language. I speak Spanish, but I'm still learning Spanish. I think that's part of it. And I think just time. It takes time to adapt to a new culture.
Oh, it does. Yeah. So, what do you like and dislike about your new life here in Costa Rica?
I like to be able to walk everywhere. I don't really miss driving the car that much. I like to be able to walk. I do like the public transportation system. I like the bread, to be able to walk in the morning to buy bread every day. I like the coffee, drinking coffee. So the food, I enjoy the food here.
What do you mean, in Texas you don't go and buy bread every morning?
No, we don't go buy bread every morning in Texas. We go to the grocery store on Saturday or Sunday, and we buy all our food for the whole week. So I'll buy a package of bread, and I'll eat bread in the morning, but it's not fresh made that morning. So that's one thing I do like about Grecia, Costa Rica.
Okay, interesting. So what do you miss the most
the space. I think I miss the space and my friends, my family, the parks for my son.
So you have mentioned that you would like to get a job in Costa Rica, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about that? I mean, what's going on? What are your plans? What would you like to do?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to get a job. We saved up hopefully enough money to last a year here, but I'd like to get a job so that we could possibly stay here a little bit longer than a year. So I'm looking for a job trying to teach English here in Costa Rica. I also coach soccer, but I'm not sure that the Costa Ricans would want a gringo teaching them soccer or not. But
oh, maybe.
yeah, so I could teach English or coach soccer, and yeah, so I'm looking for a job right now.
So just trying to wrap up, what would you say are, the main cultural differences now that you have had an insight of both cultures since you married a Costa Rican woman? How would you summarize in general the big differences between Costa Rica and the United States?
The life we were living in the United States seemed to be more stressful. It's a lot of work. Costa Rica, people seem to be a little bit more easygoing and laid back. They are very friendly. You say hi to your neighbor. In the United States, you don't talk to your neighbor as much. Everything's so spread out. So that's one of the major cultural differences.
Okay, and so you have been married to a Tica for about 10 years,
10 years,
right?
Yeah.
So what's the secret to a happy marriage between a Tica and a gringo?
I don't know about a happy marriage. There's difficulties. I think in any marriage is difficult, but I think being patient and trying to understand the other person's perspective, and also willing to forgive the other person, because we're going to make mistakes, but trying to forgive them and move on. I think one of the other things is to have your own separate time, so you're not together all the time. Do your own thing, have some hobbies that you like to do, and some hobbies that your spouse likes to do.
Now that you bring that up, tell me, are Americans jealous?
Yes, Americans get jealous, yeah. Yeah, I think that's part of being a human, the feeling of jealousy.
Okay, John, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, that was fun.